we talking about today? Yeah.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another What Are We Talking About review. Today, talking about Kingsman, The Golden Circle. This is the second movie in the franchise, and I actually just rewatched the first one before going to the second one, so I can say that the second one is not quite as good as the first one, but if you like the first one, I think you're going to like the second one. The Statesmen is a fantastic addition, I think, to the overall universe, and I want to see more from them. And I am really interested to see like where the franchise goes from here. Like Eggsy is fun. Taron Egerton is Eggsy. He does a good job again. Everybody does a pretty good job with their roles. Even the guy, like they bring back a character from the first movie, which this happens in the opening scene, and he. Like, I recognized him right away because I just watched the other movie, but I don't think other people did. But they, they say, oh, this is that guy. But then they kind of kept saying that a bunch of times. And maybe it's just because I already knew that because I just watched the other one. But that was, I felt like they kept repeating that. There was a couple moments with the comedy that I felt was a little too much. I don't really want to spoil anything because you might enjoy it. And the surprise of the joke is good. But there was a moment with Sir Elton John in the movie that there was just, like, most of it was really good and I laughed, but then there was one point where it was like, okay, this is a little much. But I enjoyed it. I thought he was hilarious in it, and I was happy to see him in the movie. Julianne Moore as the villain was good, but the problem was it felt like it felt too comic booky. The first movie was at least, even though it was fantastic, it had a little bit of reality base where like the villain seemed completely, even though I know Sam Jackson isn't this person, he sold it where he was this, tech billionaire that kind of came up with this, like his plan wasn't a bad plan. I don't know if he was right necessarily, but his plan was to try and eliminate a bunch of the human population so that the Earth can, manage to sustain itself for a longer period of time. Obviously, making a bunch of people murder each other is not good. Same with the second movie. The villain she wasn't necessarily trying to do that bad of a thing. She was just trying to make it so that all drugs were legal, which, like, it depends on your opinion, whether that's good or bad. Obviously, she was doing it for selfish reasons. She wanted to become famous. She's already rich, but she wants to become known as the most powerful, business person in the world. It's not like she was evil and just like, I'm going to take over the world. No, she just wanted to be known. She's like, people sell alcohol, sugar, two very dangerous drugs, and they are more like powerful, rich, powerful, famous. Why can't she be, is basically her thing. So she was doing it for selfish reasons, but I kind of get where she's coming from. But the only issue is, I don't know how this woman became this drug leader. With Sam Jackson, it makes sense, where it's just like, okay, I could buy Mark Zuckerberg just all of a sudden being like, this is where we need to go, or whatever, right? Like, the thing is, with Sam Jackson, he can be in that position and be squeamish with blood, because he would have never had to see blood. He would have just had, like he was dealing with computers and stuff, and microprocessors and things like that, whereas Julianne Moore would be dealing with drugs, would be dealing with like weapons and stuff like that, and she just seemed, her person, like maybe it was just that she was this crazy villain or whatever, but it just seemed out of place a little bit. But I did enjoy the idea of, this 50s like town, like that part. Some of it was good, some of it was bad. I don't know, but I absolutely loved the Statesman. Everything with the Statesman. I wish there was even more with it, and I can't wait to see where they go. Just like the first movie, they make it seem like, yeah, we could do more in this world, and I would kind of like to see that. So overall, I would rate this movie at a. It's kind of hard to say. I'm gonna probably give it 7.8 out of 10. It's not like an amazing movie, It's not as good as the first one, but overall, I enjoyed it, had a good time at the theater. I recommend seeing it. It's going to be a fun time, especially if you like the first one. But go into it thinking this isn't going to be as good. It's almost a Guardians of the Galaxy 2 situation where it's like the first one was so good that it's hard to match back up to that. And so it doesn't quite reach the first one, but it's still a good movie on its own merits, so I'd check it out. And you don't even have to see the first one to enjoy this movie. They give you all the backstory you need and stuff in this, and there you go. It's definitely worth checking out. So it's funny, this is the second movie in like a month or so that I've seen with Channing Tatum in it playing a Southerner where Take Me Home Country Roads is like an important part to the story. Those are my thoughts, but I'd love to know, what are your guys' thoughts? Hit me up in the comments section. Did you enjoy Kingsman? Have you seen it yet? Are you going to go see it tonight? Or, next couple days over this weekend? I'd love to know your thoughts. Until next time, never stop watching movies. Peace.
When do they discuss all the latest movies, or when something big happens in the news? See, that's us. What are we talking about?